All right, so tonight we're here to talk about the F word. Au contraire. The F word. Funny? No. Furry? No. The F word. Frankly? No, that's not the word either. How about fart? Fart. We can talk about fart, but everybody does it. You know what I'm saying? We don't admit it. Okay. Face. Are we here to talk about faces? No. We are here to talk about fear. Okay? Fear. It's a 4-letter word. And it's a strange phenomenon, fear. You and I, if you're an anxious person like me, you are afraid of everything. I posted on Facebook that the Charlie Brown Christmas thing where Lucy's going, do you have arachnophobia? Do you have agoraphobia? What are you afraid of, Charlie Brown? And then she says this one phobia that I can't remember. It's, what's that, Lucy? She says, fear of everything. And Charlie Brown goes, that's it. Fuck. That's it. That would be me, by the way. Just listen, I know that I look good on Zoom and I don't even have makeup on. I do have lipstick on, I have to say. But that said, a lot of people, in fact, everybody is fearful. And maybe you're afraid of death and dying. Maybe you're afraid of being intimate, in a relationship, showing your true self. Maybe you're afraid of illness. That's a big one. Maybe you're afraid of being alone. Maybe you're afraid of being financially destitute. The thing is, I don't know if you can hear me. I should bring this mic over. I've had a really long day. I hate this mic, but if I don't use the mic, then you can't hear me. You can hear me, but the people on podcasts can't hear me. Anyway, so maybe you're afraid of your anxiety. Maybe you're afraid you're going to live the rest of your life anxious, That's better. Okay, you guys, I'm glad somebody's paying attention here. Lord knows I'm not. Okay, here's what I do. On Tuesdays, I talk to 9 million people about their problems. Then I prepare for this Zoom call and I always pick a topic. And the topic tonight is fear. And then I, go out full tilt boogie for you guys. But I'm trying to figure out why my messages aren't over on that side. But hey, I'm not a tech person. Okay. Anyway, I am Lucinda Bassett, the anxiety guru. And there's a reason that I'm the anxiety guru. And you might say, Lucinda, what makes you the anxiety guru? I look like I'm sweating, which I'm really not. I think it's just really good skin. Ladies, you're wondering, how do you have that kind of skin at 65? I really don't know. It's probably the Cabernet, honestly. Anyway, just in case you're wondering. That said, and a good boyfriend, that really helps too. You got to have a good boyfriend or a good girlfriend, whichever. But you got to have something. Okay. Anyway. So fear, like what is the definition of fear? I would look it up on my phone. I probably should, but then I'm going to do it because, I love to do this. I do this all the time. You want to have some fun? Look up the definition of words if you're really bored. Okay. So let's look at fear. Oh, fear. A distressing emotion aroused by impending danger, evil, pain. Whether this is good. You ready for this? Whether the threat is real or imagined. Ooh, all you anxiety people. Concern, anxiety, something that causes feelings of dread or apprehension, something the person's afraid of, to be afraid. So I don't know about you guys, but let me speak for myself. Because I'm almost always right. And I don't mean that arrogantly. It's just the truth. Okay. I hate fear. Fear absolutely sucks. Okay. And if you're anything like me, I am a hypersensitive person. I'm a type A personality. I definitely I get scared. In fact, one of my favorite words is I'm scaredy. I say it with my kids, and I've always said it, like, I'm scaredy. Or I said to my fiance, I'm scaredy. Well, what does that mean? It means I'm afraid. Okay. And what scares you? Well, for people like me, and I'll just speak to Eugenia, baby. I can only see so many of you. What scares me, if you're asking Lucinda Bassett what scares her, I get really scared when something's wrong with one of my children and I'm afraid it's going to hurt them. And that's normal, right? It's like, what did you say? You're blah, 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 blah. And I get scared. And I also get scared if I think the guy that I'm dating at the time, right now I happen to be engaged, but if, when I was dating somebody, I would get scared when they got mad at me. Did I say something wrong? Maybe it was the second glass of wine, because I do like wine. Okay. And you should never say anything when you've been drinking anything, when you're mad or upset or your feelings are hurt, because your worst shit's going to come out if you've had anything to drink. Okay. Just telling you. So, but I get scared that I'm going to lose someone I love. I get scared that, when I really start to care for someone in a relationship, that they're going to run because I'm a little anxious sometimes, and I'm a big worrier. I don't know about you guys, but so the thing that's important when you're thinking about fear, and I'm going to go to this brilliant book that I love so much. Oh, wait, it's my book in a minute. I think the hardest things when you're really afraid, when you're fearful, is something that's real. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Is it a rational fear or an irrational fear? Write those two words down because it means everything. An irrational fear is, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my mind. I'm afraid I'm going to lose control and drive off the road and hit somebody. I'm afraid that my anxiety is going to get so bad, I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm afraid that those are irrational fears. And I often tell my clients, would you sit here and worry that your hair is going to turn green? No. Well, why wouldn't you worry that your hair is going to turn green? I know my hair is not going to turn green. Okay. You're not going to die from a panic attack either. If you're a healthy person, you're not going to drive off the road and hit someone with anxiety. Okay. Now, a real fear is, oh my God, my company's downsizing and I'm afraid I might lose my job. Oh, that's a real fear. Okay. I just had a physical and they found something in my blood work. I'm scared. I'm afraid. That's a real fear. So there's an irrational fear for a real reason that's justifiable. And there's irrational fear, like you sitting there at home by yourself going, what if? And irrational fears often start with what if. So what if I'm going to lose my mind? What if I lose control? What if I lose, my friends because I have anxiety? What if I lose my boyfriend because I have panic attacks? Well, if you lose your boyfriend because you have panic attacks, you should lose him anyway. We had that whole session about soulmates, and no one should ever leave you because you're afraid of anything, because maybe that's just part of who you are. And maybe that makes you more vulnerable and loving. And we've had a lot of conversations in the last couple of weeks. Maybe you're a giver and maybe that's why you're scaredy, and it's okay to be scaredy, and that makes you lovable. So if you're someone that gets afraid and you're scaredy, you're lovable. Stop looking at yourself like you need to bitch slap yourself because you're scaredy. It's okay to be scared. I know, because I get there sometimes myself. All right, enough about me. Let's talk about you. Are you serious? Listen to who you are, you guys. Are you ready? You, my beautiful friends, are emotionally empowered with positive energy and courage and strength. You are peaceful and serene. And the negative energy of fear, well, you're not going to give it any power. You're capable. You have great expertise and a lot of know-how in a lot of things. Master of one, master of none, something. What is that saying? Ray, what is that? Yes, I recorded Finding Your Soulmate. It was like on my podcast. My podcast is letgowithlucinda.com, and you guys should all be going there because they're amazing. And yes, Jody, Finding your soulmate. Oh my God. One of my clients called me today, whose name I won't mention, of course. And she's like, oh my God. And then I listened to your podcast, Finding Your Soulmate. And I thought, this is not my soulmate. I need to walk away. I'm like, yes. All right. You can leave fear in the past. You know what is in your power to change. And you know what is, I got to let all these people in who are the late joiners. You know what's in your power to change, and you know what you can't change. You understand that fear is just a reaction. It's not real. You conscientiously choose a more powerful way of responding. And I love this. You're going to work really hard this week. This is your homework assignment on becoming an underreactor. Write that down, you guys. That's your homework assignment. When somebody says, what's wrong with you? You're going to go, and you're just going to sit back and you're going to smile and you're going to think, oh, that's interesting. Or, oh my God, your blood work came back a little bit messed up. You're going to back up, you're going to breathe, and you're going to say, all right, I'm going to underreact to this. Doesn't mean anything. What I find about fear is oftentimes, please listen to me and write this down too. You're afraid because you don't have enough information. When your first reaction is, oh no, what if? Back up and ask yourself, how can I get more information about this specific issue so that I can make an informed decision and calm myself down? I need more information. Instead of, oh my God, oh no, what if? Say, Lucinda would say, how can you back up and go, this is a little scary. I need more information. And because whenever you get more information, you know what you feel? You feel a sense of control, because you know what fear is all about? Feeling like you don't have control. So if you can back up and breathe and underreact and say, I need more information about this test. I need more information about this property. I need more information about what's happening in my company right now. I need more information about this marriage. I'm not going to make any decisions, and I'm not going to go to a fear-based place. I'm going to go, I need more information, because an informed mind is an educated mind, is a bright mind. It's a calm mind. So I understand that fear is just a reaction, nothing more. And fear is a reaction that you go to because it's familiar. So if you're someone who always overreacts, and it's not a bad thing. It means you're a sensitive person. So you react with fear because that's what comes naturally to you. And that's when you need to say, that's a bad habit that I want to break. So I'm going to back off. And instead of choosing fear, I'm going to choose how do I get more information so that I can be less afraid? And then I consciously choose a more powerful way of thinking and reacting. I'm working toward becoming, again, an underreactor. I embrace life to the fullest with an attitude of confidence, calmness, and control. In other words, the old you would be, oh my God, what if? I'm going to panic now. I'm going to run around the house and go, but what if this happens? What if that? No, you're going to back off and say, I'm going to conscientiously choose to react in a calm, controlled manner. I'm going to get more information so I can make good decisions. I have the power to control my fear as I look for guidance from people. And this is like, okay, what's the fear? Okay, well, I have a health scare. Okay, so you find the person that knows, the answer to your health concern. Oh no, I have a relationship fear. Okay, so you find someone who can help you work through what's going on in your relationship. That would probably be me, by the way. So I am available for coaching and group coaching, which we're starting next week, and you should all be part of. Anyway, I have the power to connect to that deeper wisdom that lies within me and others. Go ahead, reach out, ask, hey, what do you think? But don't ask your stupid girlfriend down the street who doesn't know. Get a professional's advice on whatever it is that's scaring you. I refuse to allow fear to control my future. I have the ability to handle what life is throwing at me because you know what, you guys? I don't care how much money you have, how good looking you are, or who you are. We're all going to be faced with fear, all of us. Okay. I see fear as an opportunity to learn how to manage my fear, to learn how to manage my emotions, to learn how to develop my own personal power. I'm going to choose to be less affected and more effective when I'm dealing with fear. And I'm going to start that this week. I'm going to fill my mind with positive thoughts as I honor myself for the life that I have, the friends that I have, the family that I have, the unique gifts and talents that I possess. I trust in my ability to stay strong and responsible and resourceful in any situation. I love, trust, and believe in me. Isn't that really beautiful? So, you know who wrote that? Lucinda Bassett. Just saying. You guys, you might want to get this book, The Solution, because almost any problem, what I love about it is almost any problem you have, you can open the book up to almost any chapter and it will give you an answer. If you sit there consciously and say, I'm struggling with my boyfriend right now, we're not getting along really well, he thinks that I'm complaining and I'm angry, and then you open it to any chapter and it will give you a proactive way to talk and think. And I'm going to demonstrate that at the end. However, so we're going to talk about two types of fears tonight. One is irrational fear, and one that operates from reason. It's logical. It creates the basis of you being concerned. That's legitimate. Well, when it's irrational fear, it's like you could go to the doctor's office and maybe you get a bad mammogram, or maybe you get there's something in the physical that looks a little concerning. So then what do? You go to the next doctor or the same doctor and you say, what can we do to put my mind at ease? Like I had a guy I talked to today. I don't know if he's on here, and if you are, I'm not going to mention your name, and he was talking about fear of his racing pulse. And I said, go get a physical and do a stress test and make sure your heart's healthy. So then, when your pulse is racing, you don't have anything to be afraid of. Like the people that really piss me off and frustrate me are the people that sit around and worry about shit and don't do anything to get answers. So the best thing you can do is whenever you're afraid of anything, ask yourself, number one, is it a rational fear? This is the most important question. Rational being, it's from reason, it's logical. It's a fear that creates action steps to understand what you're dealing with. It's a fear that needs to have maybe a conclusion, a solution, and an end result so that you know how to deal with it, you know how to face it, you can make good decisions based in being rational. And then you have an irrational fear, which defies reason and is therefore illogical. Irrational fears are not based in reality, and they have a slim chance of ever occurring. So which one is that, Lucinda? That you're going to go crazy from a panic attack, that you're going to drive off the road and kill someone from a panic attack, that you're going to die from taking medication for anxiety and depression, that you're going to lose your mind and become psychotic from anxiety disorder. Okay, those are as irrational as you worrying about your hair turning green. And those of you that have worked with me, I've used this many times. Like, do you sit around every day and worry about your hair turning green? They're like, no. And I'm like, why not? Well, because I know my hair will never turn green. Well, you're never going to die from a panic attack. And you're never going to go get in a car crash from a panic attack. And you're never going to go insane. Not that insane even exists anymore, from a panic attack. So stop freaking worrying about it. You can sit around all day and sit there and worry that your anxiety is going to lead to some awful mental illness. Guys, it's not. So don't waste your time on irrational fears. And that's what we're here to talk about. A very good example of an irrational fear. You're not going to believe it. Does anybody have any idea what that would be? Okay, just throw it up there. Jack of all trades, master of none. Thank you. That's what I was trying to get at. Hey, you talked to 8 people today for an hour each and tell me how you're doing at the end of the day. You're lucky I haven't any clothes on. I'm exhausted. Okay. Losing my hair. That's a fear for a lot of people. By the way, one of my sponsors on my podcast is, oh God, I can't remember the name, but anyway, it's about losing your hair and it's supposed to be a really good product. You need to go on there and listen to my podcast because it's a sponsor and they have this great product. They sent it to me. I'm not losing my hair. Maybe I'll send it to you. Okay. A good example of an irrational fear, you guys are going to die, is the very common fear. What do you think it is, you guys? You think it's death and dying, losing your mind? No, it is fear of flying. Everybody goes, I get it. People need to understand that this perceived danger of flying is irrational. The truth is, commercial flights are one of the safest methods of travel available today. Okay. You are twice as likely to die from a bee sting. You are 19 times more likely to die in a car accident. You are 110 times more likely to die on your bicycle, especially if you live in Malibu driving down PCH. Your chances of dying in a tornado is 1 in 150,000. You're like, well, I'm probably not going to die in a tornado. Well, your chances of dying on a commercial plane is 1 in 10 million. 1 in 10 million. So when you're up there flopping around in the turbulence and you hate turbulence, because I hate turbulence, and you're worrying about dying in an airplane, you're completely irrational. And hey, that's not to say that dying in an airplane would be a horrible way to die. I personally am scared to death of dying in an airplane. You know, I don't really love to fly. I don't mind flying. I hate turbulence. And we've talked about this, but I don't sit there and irrationally think I'm going to die. I just don't like the feeling of the turbulence, you know? And I have to say, I do worry that I'm going to die. Okay. But, you know, the truth of the matter is you're not going to die in an airplane flight. It's highly unlikely, 1 in 10 million. So when you have these fears, I beg you to ask yourself, is it irrational? And you're going to know right away, yes, it's irrational. I'm sitting here worrying that I have a tumor in my leg because there's pain in my leg. Well, so what do? Go to your primary doctor and say, hey, I've had this pain in my leg for 2 weeks. It's right here. Now, if you have a pain in your leg and there's a lump in your leg, go to the doctor and say, I have a lump in my leg and a pain in my leg. And then they might send you to another doctor. And of course you'd be scared. I'd be scared. And I've had scared things, you know, like 10 years ago, I went in for a colonoscopy, my first one. And I'm like, or maybe it was, God, was it? I guess it was 10, 15 years ago. I'm aging myself. Anyway, I drank all this crap, which is the worst part of a colonoscopy, as many of you know. Some of you don't know, but you're going to find out. And then I get in there and I'm out. They put me out. And then the doctor's waking me up and going, we found a lump this big, I swear to God, in your colon. And I'm like, huh? And I'm like a half drugged. We need to do a CAT scan. So the next thing I know, I'm drinking this chalky stuff and I vomit my guts out. And then they're going, oh my God, we don't see anything. You need to go to, you know, anyway, this went on for 6 months. I went to everyone. And then they said they thought it was a tumor in my ovaries. And then I ended up at my gynecologist. So do you think I wasn't scared out of my freaking mind? Of course. But that's rational. That was a real reason to be scared. And what I'm trying to tell you is you're going to have fear, okay? Because life is full of ups and downs and unpredictable events. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, and it doesn't matter how healthy you are now, and it doesn't matter if you don't drink and you don't smoke and you run every day. I know people that's done all that and they still got cancer. So what's the answer? The answer is to know that you will experience rational situations that will cause fear. So what's the answer? Number one, is your fear rational or irrational? If it's rational, number two, call people who know what you're dealing with and get real answers and get information so that you can make good decisions moving forward with this real fear. Number three, go to those experts and so you can make good decisions about whatever it is that you need to make decisions about. Number four, if you have control over that, then make decisions and move on. If you don't have any control over it, then let it go and get on with your life. Number five, come back into the moment. This is how you deal with a real fear, okay? Live in the moment, stay grateful for what you have, let go of something you have no control over. If you have control over it, Surround yourself with people smarter than you. Surround yourself with experts in whatever that fear is that you're dealing with, whether it's property or it's your health or it's your children or it's your job. Go to people, get answers so that you feel like, all right, I'm getting information. Now I feel like I have control. Then you can make good decisions. And then number 6, once you've made decisions with that about dealing with that rational fear, let go and trust the universe. Now, if your fear is irrational and you're like, how do I know? Because if it starts out with what if, and you can say to yourself, what are the chances that that's going to happen? And then but I don't know, it might happen. Then go to your husband or your girlfriend or your thought therapist or your minister and say, I'm really, really worried about this happening. I'm worried about losing my mind. I'm worried about going crazy. And they would say, well, have you have a therapist? Do you have a psychologist? I'm worrying about my husband leaving me. Why are you worried about that? In other words, I'm worried that I'm going to lose my mind because I have panic attacks. If your fear is irrational, then what you need to do is, number 1, is my fear irrational? Number 2, yes, it's irrational. It's not likely to happen. Number 3, then I need to let it go. Number 4, and replace that fear with positive, empowering talk. What I'm giving you right now from this book, and I'm going to give you a few more in a minute, which is, I'm healthy, I'm strong. I don't need to worry about my health. If you know that's true. If you're scared, go get a physical. If you're scared about your teeth, go to the dentist. If you're scared about having a heart attack, get a stress test. And once all of those things come back and you're fine, then you need to get comfortable and say, I know I'm healthy. So if your fear is irrational, do what you can to calm yourself down, get answers from people who are in the know, and then tell yourself, go back to this one. The likelihood of me going crazy from anxiety is about as likely as my hair turning green while I'm sleeping tonight. And then laugh at yourself. Go ahead and see the humor, because truly it's irrational. Fear is a powerful emotion that can work for you or it can work against you. The truth is, this is hard to believe, but it's so true. There's this saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. I'm such a big believer in that. If there's something that you really want to do, but you're scared, and I don't mean something to hurt yourself. I'm saying, but if you want to try a new relationship or go on a dating site, or you want to change careers, or you want to learn how to ski, or you want to go back to school, or you want to go live by the water somewhere, but you're scared to move, do it. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Oh my God. Why? Because when you do the things you're afraid to do, it's so empowering. It gives you energy. It makes you feel stronger. It makes you feel that anything is possible. There's a piece written by Marianne Williamson that I have a lot of respect for her, and some of you might know who she is. And she says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are more powerful than we know, that we are more powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that scares us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be able to really be happy? Who am I to really get the life I want? Who am I to be so brilliant, gorgeous, and talented and fabulous that somebody actually wants to love me? Actually, who are you not to be? You deserve to be happy and loved and powerful. You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve you. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing light about you shrinking so small that other people let you feel intimidated, that other people control you, that other people make you feel bad. There's nothing powerful about you shrinking. We are all meant to shine. You are a child of God. You were born to manifest the glory of God. It's not just in some of us, it's in every single one of you listening tonight. And when we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And what does that mean? It means that when you face your fear and you do something you're afraid to do, your children are watching you guys, if you have children, and they'll go, mommy did that. Maybe I can do it. Mommy went down that big hill. Maybe I can go down that big hill. Mommy picked up that bug. Kids have a lot of My fiance is the most brilliant guy, and he's a doctor, and he has this beautiful little granddaughter, and he goes over and he bought her a bug kit. Now, see, I would never do this because I don't like bugs, but he bought her a little glass jar, and it came with a little net, and they go around the garden and they pick up spiders and they put them in the jar, and they pick up little bugs and they put them in the jar, beetles. And she's, instead of going, ew, I'm scared, she's like, he's going, look at that beautiful beetle. Look at the wings on that beetle. Look at that spider. That's a little baby spider. We need to go. And then he always lets them out. We need to get that little baby spider, go find its mommy. We need to let the beetle out so it can fly to that tree. And she's going, oh, so that little girl's going to grow up appreciating the beauty in insects. I grew up scared to death of all that shit because nobody took the time to show me not to be afraid. So how about you? What did you grow up with? Did someone scare you when you were a little girl? Did someone leave you when you were 3 or 4 years old? Did someone abandon you? Did someone scream and yell at each other when you were 7 and 8 years old? Did you have a dad with a lot of anger, or a mom who was scared to death to fight back to the dad who was full of anger? Did you grow up with a low self-esteem? Did you move around a lot so you never really felt like you had a home? I had all the above. Okay. So there's no excuse for you, because I am 65 and I'm good. I'm happier than I've ever been. And, I want you to write these statements down. You can either allow your fears to consume and control you and help you determine how you're going to live your life, or although you feel fear, you're going to step through it and beyond it and live your life to the fullest with unlimited potential and possibilities. You can either live your life with the belief that your fears are going to keep you safe. Your fears are going to keep you controlled. You can predict things, and you're going to just stay away from anything that could scare you. Or you're going to go beyond your self-imposed limitations that fear is causing, and you're going to live a life of courage and adventure and openness and trust. And you're going to explore the new horizons and all the possibilities that the world has to offer you, especially now. We've all been stuck at home and confined with this whole pandemic. Get out there, take a leap of faith, and do something that you've been afraid to do that's safe. Okay. I mean, no one's doing like strange things, but I mean, do something you're afraid to do, like break up with a bad boyfriend and go on a dating site and drive from Ohio to California and move out to freaking Florida if that's what you want to do, and change careers. Take control. You can ignore and suppress and deny your happiness, and fear is going to push you along the way, and it's going to stop you from achieving happiness. Or you can see your fear as guides and signs that inform you and direct you to areas of your life that need to be healed and integrated so that you can move forward, take chances, take some risks, and courageously lead the life you are supposed to be living, because God put you here to thrive and be happy. We're going to breathe. All right. So I want you guys to go into this breath session, and I want you to just take a minute and put your hand on your throat chakra. It's right here. And I want you to speak your truth. I'm afraid. I want you to say, I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid of being alone. I'm afraid of not being financially safe. I'm afraid I'm going to go crazy. I'm afraid nobody's going to love me. I want you to speak that truth right now with your hand, your right hand on your throat chakra. And then I want you to put your left hand down here on your solar plexus chakra. It's below your chest and above your belly button, because that's where you're going to get information from the universe. And we're going to breathe. Okay, so let me put on the only song I'm legally allowed to play. Hold on, I'm trying to get it there. You're not allowed to play other people's music on this thing. It's crazy. All right. Huh. I don't know why it's not connecting. Here we go. Woo. All right. I'm going to go back and start at the beginning. All right, we're going to breathe. And you might be saying, what are the benefits of breathing? Well, breath is the most important resource required for a healthy body, mind, and blood cells. Breathing deeply stimulates your skin and your muscles, and it massages your major organs in your body, such as your liver and your heart. Deep breathing strengthens the immune system by expelling toxins when you breathe out. Full connected breathing stimulates your brain, improving your mental alertness and concentration. Full oxygenation of the body increases our energy by delivering oxygen to the blood, the organs, and the brain. Deep breathing can address negative patterns or behaviors in our lives by placing us in a higher frequency state in our minds. Full oxygenation of our brain allows us to release serotonin, endorphins, and hormones, organic chemicals that would produce a blissful and even euphoric state, resulting in a deeper connection to God. So breathe with me. We're going to put your mouth in a round position like you're drinking from a water bottle, and you're going to breathe into the count of 3, and then a slow breath, a short breath out, as if you're blowing on a mirror. So it's, and if you can keep your breath connected, so you're going to sit back, you're going to put your hand on your throat chakra. It's this little divot in your neck, and you're going to put your right hand, and your left hand is going to be on your solar plexus chakra. And I'm going to walk you through a little breath exercise. And I want you to think about releasing your fear and finding your faith in your own power. We call upon the great I Am, masters of light and angelic forces, to now assist everyone here today to manifest and embrace the energy of their fearlessness under grace, safe surrender, and perfect alignment with acceptance of all information and guidance that might come to them in this breath session. Keep your breathing steady, breathing in to the count of 3, short breath out. Breathing into the count of 3, short breath out. It's always good if you can close your eyes because you'll surrender more. I invite you now to surrender and embrace spirit. Feel the energy throughout your body, from the top of your head down to your tummy, the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. The vibration is God. Breathing in all that is good, health, abundance, kindness, energy, life, and love. Breathing out compassion for others, unconditional love for yourself and others, non-judgment, happiness, fearlessness. I call upon the I Am presence, masters of light, and angelic forces to give everyone here tonight a very clear sign of their connection to their higher self, to the universe, to this incredible energy. I want you to relax back into your surface, the chair, the sofa, trusting your breath work. I want you to allow yourself to let this beautiful energy move throughout your body. This is your energy, the great I am, spirit energy. This is your soul. This is your life, your light, your gift. Letting your mind drift now. Feel the vibration radiating from you around to the space around you. If your hands are down on the sofa or the chair, feel the vibration. Pick your hands up and put them up in the air and feel that tingling sensation in your hands. This is the great spiritual, the great I am. This energy is there for you whenever you need it. What a gift this energy is. Filling your body full of health, healthy blood flow, healthy thoughts, energizing you and others around you, calming, placing your soul in safe surrender in this moment, in this space. Trust. I call upon the great I am and masters of light to give everyone here any information they might need at this time about their own fear, their own insecurity, and their ability to let it go, whether or not it's rational or irrational, how to know the difference, and how to make good choices on dealing with fear. I invite you now to take a few moments, bringing your breath to a steady pace, slowly, gently grounding yourself, wiggling your toes and your fingers, bringing your breath back to a consistent pace. Breathing in, breathing out. While you breathe in, tell yourself, I'm calm, I'm confident, I'm in control. I'm going to come from a rational perspective. I'm going to underreact this week. I'm going to choose to be an underreactor and keep things in perspective. I invite you to come back to this space now. Open your eyes. Come back to me. Hello. Hi. I hope you enjoyed that tonight. Today, if you're listening to my podcast, just a few words of whatever. I'm Lucinda Bassett, and we're starting a group next week. If you guys really want to do something cool, you should be part of this group. There's a couple spaces left. It's really powerful. And you want to call Darla at 419-350-7499. That's 419-350-7499. This group is a really intimate little group. It's going to start next Thursday. It's going to go for 6 weeks. This is very different than the Zoom call. We're going to take you through a program. I'm going to be leading the whole group. You get to talk and interact. It's life-changing. You're going to love it. We won't be offering another one probably till after the first of the year. So if you're at all interested in this group, please call Darla at 419-350-7499, and she'll set up a call with me to see if you're a good candidate for the group. We have a couple spaces left. You're going to love it. It's an hour and a half long once a week on Thursdays at 5:00 Pacific Standard Time. And those of you that know that I do personal coaching, during this group, you get 5 more hours of coaching than when you do the personal coaching, and it's the same price. So if you really want to do something fun for yourself for the next 6 weeks to set yourself up for a great new normal in this world and a great summer, it's going to be done. It starts next week and it's done by mid-July, and you are off. You're going to get on planes. You can go travel. You can have great relationships. It's going to change your life. So call Darla at 419-350-7499 if you have any interest in this group coaching program that starts next Thursday. 6 sessions, an hour and a half long. Or you can call Darla and you can set up coaching with me one-on-one. I'm really good at what I do, and people on here would tell you that. And I have some open spaces for that. Also, please go to my podcast, Let Go with Lucinda. It's on every podcast platform. And the thing is, they're there, and there's things about relationships and finding your soulmate. It's amazing. And then there's information on healthy anger. Yes, there is such a thing. And there's the whole podcast on anxiety and panic attacks. So follow me on letgowithlucinda.com. Please follow me on Facebook. Just go to Lucinda Bassett on Facebook and follow me on Instagram. And I hope you'll come back next week for our free Zoom call, because I just like to help you guys feel better. I love all of you very much. Go out and make it a great week to be you. And happy Memorial Day weekend, you guys. I don't know what you're doing, but at least you're hopefully you're doing something fun, because we finally can. So go out and don't be afraid and have some fun. Until then, I'll speak to you next Tuesday night. Peace out.